in St. Louis, and for the Blues, well, it's an energy guy. Chris Porter back in the lineup. Well, the Flyers counter with ex-Blue Carlo Koliakovo back on the blue line. But the Note fans know that TJ Oshie never disappoints. He's always entertaining. Blues, Flyers, next on Fox Sports Midwest. Spring evening here in St. Louis. Spring is finally here for Blues fans. Well, their thoughts turn to a strong regular season finish and a deep run in the Stanley Cup playoffs. To position themselves for the deep run, the Blues need to keep on winning. That could be a challenge tonight as they host the always physical Flyers here on Fox Sports Midwest. Hello, everybody, and welcome inside Scott Trade Center, and welcome to Blues Hockey on Fox Sports Midwest. I'm Pat Paris. 1 week ago, the Blues ran into the same Flyers hockey club in Philly with disappointing results. The Note dropping a 3-1 decision while being roughed up a bit. Tonight, the rematch here in St. Louis, and for the call of that rematch, let's bring in John Kelly and Darren Pang. Guys?
All right, Pat, thank you very much. As the Blues look for their third consecutive victory, Darren, they're making some changes on left wing tonight. Patrick Berglund is a healthy scratch. Chris Porter is back in the lineup. He'll play with Backes as Steen goes down to the Stastny line.
That really tells you the versatility and the trust that the coaching staff have in a guy like Chris Porter. Obviously a guy that's an energy guy, but here he is playing on the line with David Backes and TJ Oshie. So good for Chris Porter to get into the lineup. Well, Alexander Steen, for the 14th time this year, will suit up alongside Paul Stastny. Obviously, they were very good the second half of the game against the Winnipeg Jets. And for Patrick Berglund, it's never fun being a healthy scratch, but already the coaching staff has said he will be back on Saturday night.
Well, the hottest line for the Blues, and they're hot again. It's the STL line, 17 points in their last 4 games, Darren.
Well, incredible. I mean, obviously the puck moving, but to me, it's all about the way that they're tenacious on the puck. I mean, I think when you look at Jaden Schwartz, the last 4 games, 3 goals and 3 helpers, 12 shots. The reason being, he's getting in on the puck. He's hunting players down. He's stealing pucks. Jori Lehtera looks like he's got a second win going right now. In his last 4 games, he's got 5 points as well and getting better on the faceoff dot. And obviously on bobblehead night for Vladdy Tarasenko, he is just an absolutely special hockey player as we've seen time and time again. Last 4 games, 2 goals and 4 assists. He is a sniper, and when you look at Jori Lehtera, a playmaking guy that finds the open holes, and here he just has his stick on the ice and lays that one down because of the brilliance of Jaden Schwartz. For Jaden Schwartz, he's back on his game again, not just looking to pass, he's shooting the puck, and when you shoot the puck a lot, you end up backing off the other team and getting more time to be a playmaker as well. Look for these 3 players to play tighter together, a little bit more cohesive together. They started getting separated, now they're getting tighter in all 3 zones of the ice.
Well, Darren, tonight's difference could be on the power play. The Blues are 3rd best in the NHL, the Flyers right behind, 4th best.
Well, obviously, the one area is the special teams. With 2 teams like this, you know that after the whistle's going to go, one of the 2 teams ends up taking a minor. The power play is going to be a major factor. That's why that is our BJC healthcare difference maker in this particular game. So Simmons and Backes, great net front presence guys.
Well, these clubs met exactly a week ago in snowy Philadelphia. The Blues led 1-0 on a goal by Jaden Schwartz, but the Flyers scored 3 in the 3rd on goals from Delzato, Simmons, and Raffl. St. Louis Blues Hockey is brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. In, up, fixed, out. Dobbs does it all. Get great offers on 2015 Chevy models. Find new roads at your Mid-America Chevrolet dealer. And a reminder from Budweiser, designated driver, and enjoy the great times. It is the 3rd game, or 2nd game of a 3-game homestand. The Flyers in town for their only regular season visit. And our Dobbs starting goaltenders, Brian Elliott, has won 4 of his last 5 starts. He'll be opposed by former Rookie of the Year, Steve Mason, who appears in his 8th consecutive game for the desperate Flyers. And it's Alexander Steen out there to start things along with Paul Stastny and Dmitry Yashkin. For the Flyers, it is Ryan White Michael Raffl and Zach Ronaldo. Blues hockey sponsored by Bud Light, who reminds fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. As the Flyers go back, now it comes in front, taken care of by Philly to center, into Ronaldo, almost got behind Bertuzzo, and now they go to the end boards. And then Bertuzzo knocks it free, and the puck back on the blue line, and a shot was blocked. Schenn let it go. Now Bertuzzo blocks another one, and then it goes to the corner, and Ryan White, number 25. Now it high for Luke Schenn, and played to the near side, and then Raffl sends it around. Steen trying to get it for the Blues, and again it stays in the zone.
Well, that's a pretty darn good shift by this line of the Philadelphia Flyers. Ronaldo, White, and Raffl right off the hop. Zach Ronaldo, after Barrett Jackman was dumping the puck in right in front of me, John Kelly, boy, did he have to take a hit there by White right in the first 20 seconds of the shift.
And now Backman gets it deep. Here's Oshie. He runs a Flyer player to the ice, and Oshie feeds it back for Lindholm. A drive. That goes wide. And now Porter hunts it down on the near side. And then Oshie was knocked down by Mark Streit, who was bumped by Backes, but Simmons carries on. In for Couturier, and his shot, and a pad save by Elliott. And now it's in behind the Blues goal. Flyers get it free. And that pass to the slot was blocked. And now Porter puts it in off the boards. He goes after it against Nicholas Grossman.
The thing about Porter for this line is he's a predictable player. And there's no fooling around when he gets to the lines. He gets that puck in north, as this will be an icing call on the Philadelphia Flyers. So good first shift there by Chris Porter, just getting his legs going as he gets back into the lineup. And in the meantime, Ryan White, who played with Kirk Muller as a member of the Montreal Canadiens, starts that one off with a Jackman hit, and then he gets involved there with Alexander Steen. Kept the puck in deep, punted it back to the point, and the Philadelphia Flyers had a very good first shift on the road.
Darren, the Flyers out-hit the Blues 48-34 last week in that 3-1 victory. So they like to play their physical game. And now Jake Voracek. And he darts in, a shot blocked by Pietrangelo. And now walked the other way by Schwartz. He has scored goals in 3 straight. And then Laterra hands it back for Gunnarsson. And then for Pietrangelo. Up the middle, tipped along by Laterra. And that's swatted away by Mason. And Carlo Koliakovo, the former Blue, played here last year. Gets one of the Blues line and pushed the other way by Laterra. And now Claude Giroux comes in for the Flyers. For Brayden Schenn. Tough angle. Centers it off a stick. Bounces at the line. Kept in by Koliakovo. And now around to Schenn again. Watched by Bouwmeester, who's back after missing 2 with the flu. And now the Flyers work the puck to the near side. And Vincent Lecavalier trying to center one. Blocked. And then Steve Ott fires it in off the boards. And Dutch with a tough angle shot. And Mason had to be alert.
That's a good try by Gotch. Mason was going down, not expecting the shot from that sharp angle.
And Bertuzzo pinches in, but he can't hold it in. And now Gotch whips it back to the hero the other night. Barrett Jackman scored with 63 seconds left on that wild goal from center ice. And now the Flyers. Koliakovo held up by Steen. And now it's taken by Pierre-Edouard Bellemare. He can't get anywhere. Now he does up the boards. Bellemare is spun around by Steen. And Yashkin supports. But now the Flyers out of the zone. As White loses it, Bertuzzo's pass tipped away. Good forecheck there by Ryan White. Now a shot on goal by Bellemare and a save by Elliott.
Well, good pressure in the offensive zone. Alexander Steen finishing his check on the right side before that shot against Elliott. As we take a look at our Toyota keys to the game here. Not even 4 minutes into this contest against the Flyers, and this has got to be a north and south hard physical game. And obviously getting that sustained pressure. So you've got line after line that can wear down a team like Philadelphia. And already the message on the bench with the neutral zone regroups is get that puck over the red line and start getting it deep to establish that right off the hop here.
Now the Blues to center ice. Here comes Pietrangelo. Two Flyers around him. It bounces back to Backes. And a shot steered away by Steve Mason, who played a couple of years in Columbus under Ken Hitchcock. And now Oshie back for Gunnarsson. That shot, that got on goal and a save by Mason. And now Backes to Porter, who's been a healthy scratch in the last 7 and has played only one game since hurting his ankle in late December.
Came back after his broken foot, snuck in there on the 4th line, waits for his chance, and then he ends up with two pretty top guys there, in Oshie and Backes.
And now Vladdy Tarasenko. On Tarasenko bobblehead night for Laterra. And this goes deep. Grossman back to get it, the former star. That comes around, kept in limbo. That shot missed the target. And now Karav's back on the right wing for Schwartz. Oh, and a hit there. Tarasenko goes down.
I think they tripped over one another.
Yeah, he ran into a Flyer. Now Laterra pounds it off a body wide. Now centered by Tarasenko, broken up by the Flyers. And Wayne Simmons, who scored the winner against the Blues last week, into the zone. And then a backhander by Matt Reed is wide. And now it is Ryan Reeves the other way for Bouwmeester. And he gains the red line. That goes around the end boards. Now Ott gets it. Quick shot on goal and a save by Mason. And Pietrangelo storms to the corner. Gets some help from Ott, who had a big goal the other night in the Blues' 5-4 victory.
Oh, we're going to see a minor penalty here. Offensive zone minor penalty on the Blues right here. Paul Dvorsky, the veteran referee, making this call as Reeves and Luke Schenn get together. This is going to be on Ott, I believe.
Got number 9, St. Louis, 2 minutes for holding the stick.
Yeah. Steve Ott came over to the bench, trying to slide away from the call here, but he's the one that's going to go off in the far corner, offensive zone. He turns and spins. Let's see. You know what? That's a bad call. Because, you know, the stick's between his legs. All he's trying to do is make sure that that stick gets out of his legs. And that's a tough one there on him. He was just trying to guide that stick away from his legs.
Now the puck in front and off the stick of Braden Schenn. And the Blues fire it down the ice. The Flyer power play very good at 22.4%, but only 1 for their last 15. As the Flyers come in with only 1 victory in their last 5 games.
And we welcome Russian referee Evgeny Romasko to Scott Trade Center, his 3rd National Hockey League game, working again alongside Paul Dvorsky.
He's been in the American League this year and used to officiate in the KHL, and he used to work some games with Tarasenko. Now Claude Giroux for Streit. In front, tip just wide on a set play by Braden Schenn.
That's a high tip redirection there by Schenn. Well set up there by Voracek.
Now Schenn again back for Streit. Thought about shooting. Watched by Oshie. Voracek to Streit. And around for Giroux. Tough angle here. Plays it back. Streit a shot. Got through and a save by Elliott. And then Gunnarsson and Simmons do some jostling in front.
Well, Drew leads the Philadelphia Flyers in power play points, 11 goals and 32 points. Voracek is next with 27. And Streit, who runs the power play from the top, he is 3rd with 25. And this umbrella formation is well suited. Left-hand shot on the right, a right-hand shot on the left. And then you've got Schenn up high. That's the redirection. A perfectly executed play, just misses on the stick side. And Wayne Simmons, who's so good in front of the net.
He leads the club with 13 power play goals, 3rd best in the NHL. And Steen fires it all the way down the ice. 45 to go in the power play. Flyers were 0 for 2 last week against the Blues. And that errant pass picked up by Lindbohm. And now it's Koliakovo back to get it. He was signed in late October as a free agent. Now number 14 is Sean Couturier. For Koliakovo, pass across the slot. Now played to the back for McDonald. And he gets it again. Andrew McDonald, the longtime Islander. Koliakovo winds up on a drive. Blocked in front, I think, by Lindbohm. But not cleared. Now Couturier, nice pass in front. And the Flyers get set up again. LeCavalier for McDonald. And off the boards, a shot by LeCavalier. That was wide.
Yeah, it went right off the shin pad there of Barrett Jackman.
And now a shot by Koliakovo. The Flyers had 1 shot on the power play. The Blues have killed it off. As Ott is out of the box.
good patience shown by the puck handlers of the Philadelphia power play. But the Blues did a good job of keeping them on the outside, other than that high slot redirection there by Schenn.
And now Voracek to center ice. 6th in scoring with 67 points. And then it is dumped into the blue zone by Luke Schenn. Now Pietrangelo down low. Working against Vandevelde. Now it comes in front, taken care of by Steen. Lobs it on for Pietrangelo. Shots are 3-3. Blues enter the zone. And Tarasenko tried to go right through the legs of Belmar. Can't. And the puck to center ice, and Bertuzzo steps up, and a good hit there on Voracek. Now Tarasenko in heavy traffic. Can't make a play. And Luke Schenn now to Raffl. And then it's tipped all the way down the ice by Ryan White. And White goes to the boards, and he was jolted. And then a shot in front. Another penalty called here, as the back referee, the Russian Romosko, has made a call.
Yeah, they both did. Both arms went up at the same time. And Ryan White went down hard in the boards on the first hit. It was a good clean hit by Pietrangelo, and it was just a little nudge from behind. I had a very good look at it, and Ryan White went down rather easily on that play.
We'll sort it out. No score first period.
Well, Paul Dvorsky, the veteran referee that's expected to retire at the end of the year, is doing a good job there of giving Robert Bortuzzo the time of day there in the explanation. This was the first hit on Zach Rinaldo right in front of the Flyers bench. Good, solid hit that Rinaldo has to absorb. And here's the hit there, as Pietrangelo does a great job of separating the man from the puck. And look at White. He's looking at the referee the whole time. He gets a little nudge right there, and down he goes. But it was in open ice, and both referees actually had their arms up simultaneously there, both Evgeny Romosko and veteran Paul Dvorsky, both making the call.
Flyers 0 for 1 with one shot. And Stastny wins another faceoff. He's been the Blues' best faceoff man this year, over 58%. And the Blues hammer it down the ice.
Yeah, Pietrangelo, that went right on goal. Ian is paying way more attention to long shots on the goalie, Don Kelly, based on what happened in the last game against Pavlik with 63 seconds remaining.
Any shot is a good shot, right, Darren?
Yes, you got that right.
And the puck comes up the board. Steen is there for the Blues. And now the Flyers, good hold in by Streit. Simmons right down the slot, and a shot from the wing was blocked.
Oh, he should have shot that immediately.
That was Voracek. And now Streit. Yeah, he dusted it off, and it was blocked.
Either that or the first one.
And now Streit to Giroux. Across the seam again, and another drive on goal by Voracek. And a save by Elliott, but again, Darren, he didn't one-time it.
No, very, very good save there on the short side by Brian Elliott, but I thought when Simmons had that right in the high slot and he was winding up, he was in the better shooting position than passing it to Voracek on that first play.
And now the Flyers to center ice, and they go offside as Sean Couturier touches the puck in across the line.
Well, I think from a goalie's perspective, anytime you're looking straight down the barrel of a shooter, he's got the better angle of it. Now stop it here if we can. I mean, this is pretty good right here. Rather than that, I mean, so maybe Bouwmeester did such a good job of getting in the lane that maybe Simmons was thinking it would have gotten blocked, and he was looking for a one-timer from Voracek. As you mentioned, he dusted it off and just took too much time.
That's one of Hitch's best Hitch invites. Dusted off as he goes for win number 700. Now Couturier comes in a shot, and that goes wide.
There's 9,000 pages of Hitchisms.
But I think that's one of his best. It's in his top 10 anyhow. Now the Flyers set up Lecavalier, former first overall pick by the Lightning. And now work to the near side for Couturier. To McDonald. Across the seam, Couturier again, a shot tipped on goal. And a save by Elliott. And Jackman throws it up the middle and down the ice.
Good positioning by Elliott. Good protection from his defenseman.
And 10 to go in the Bertuzzo minor. Flyers making a change. That'll do it. Philly with 2 shots on the power play, and now 0 for 2. And Mason sets it up for the Swedish defenseman Nicholas Grossman. And Voracek blows a tire, almost run down by Backes. And the puck to center, and turned the other way by Bouwmeester. Here's Barrett here with Pietrangelo. And they get to center ice. In deep it goes. Mason sets it up for Grossman. And on the boards, hooked along by Belmar. And now Bouwmeester. The Blues are going to monitor his conditioning tonight after missing the last two with the flu bug. And then Backes chips it over the head of everybody and out of play. 8:46 to go, first period. We are scoreless.
Well, we mentioned before about Evgeny Ramosko, and Ramosko, of course, coming over here after the NHL. Stephen Walcom saw him at a camp that they had in Switzerland. Former defenseman, can really skate well, understands the game. They've slid him into 40 AHL games this year, and of course the first Russian-born. Here's the first drop of the puck, and isn't it appropriate that Pavel Datsyuk, the great Russian hockey player, was a center iceman for the Detroit Red Wings as Evgeny Ramosko drops the puck. He's got a good head on his shoulders. They're looking forward to the fact that he's going to spend some time in the American Hockey League playoffs as well. Get a little bit more experience.
And we talked to Vladdy this morning. He said he knew him from the KHL, and he said he does a very good job. And a groundbreaking referee in the NHL, Ramosko.
Blues Hall of Fame Plaza Brick with a personalized inscription written by you. Ordered by March 13th to receive your brick.
And there he is, and it's a good pairing as well. You see that good hit right there by
Visit section 121 for example.
by White there, and his stick just wrapped around the neck area of David Backes. And no call there with the stick position, but David Backes didn't like that as we were going to break. Backes was going on a line change, but White's been all over it early on in this game, and that's one of the things that Kirk Muller really liked about White while he was coaching him in Montreal.
Flyers entering play tonight, 9 points out of a playoff spot. Now the Blues at center ice. Here comes Oshie and Backes. To Backes! And he was interfered with, a penalty called here on the Flyers.
And Nick Grossman's going to go off there. This all starts with a good pass from Porter right in front of the Blues bench inside the blue line. Porter makes a good pass right through the skates of a Flyers player.
Philadelphia penalty, 2 minutes for interference.
And his English is pretty good as well.
Very good. He's going to have a command of that English language to be able to communicate. But Oshie had the puck because of a good pass from his former North Dakota teammate. As Grossman comes in, the pass was not on the tape of David Backes, and Grossman eliminates Backes from the play.
Blues were 1 for 5 against the Jets. And 3 for the last 14. Steen now for Tarasenko. And that pass down low is picked off, and the Flyers clear it. Their penalty killing is not very good. Third worst at 76.5%. And Darren, on the road, they're under 70% on the road. See if the Blues can capitalize. Steen puts it in. Mason, who handles the puck well, he goes right up the middle and all the way down the ice.
Well, one thing to watch is Vladdy Tarasenko shooting the puck more. In the last game against Winnipeg, there was a 5-on-3, and he wanted to be the playmaker of the line, and that's not the duties. That's not what they work on. He's the shooter on the power play, so that'll be a focal point there on Tarasenko, who obviously frustrated with that last sequence here as they were not able to get the puck into the offensive zone on the power play.
Blues were 0 for 1 last week in Philadelphia. And 65 to go in Grossman's minor. No score here in the first as Pietrangelo rags the puck as his mates make a line change. And now on to center for Gunnarsson. Tipped along to Backes. Then he drifts in for Gunnarsson. Tough angle shot. And that was blocked. Now Gunnarsson again to the back to Backes. And then for Pietrangelo. Here's Backes again. Now back for Pietrangelo. On to Gunnarsson. He shoots one. Rebound, Stastny's shot. And that was tripped wide of the goal. And now Gunnarsson again. He shoots, and a save again by Steve Mason.
Well, two different power play units, and some nights things click when you enter into the zone. And as we saw from the Laterra combo on the first one, it didn't click getting in, so it's frustration. Now this one here is Stastny just hits the stick. And, oh my! How close that was right there on the left-handed goaltender, Steve Mason. So back-to-back games against left-handers. Michael Hutchinson obviously started that last game before giving up 4 goals on just 7 shots.
And the face-off kicked back to the line by Stastny. And he gets it again on the half boards to Yashkin. Now Yashkin trying to make a play, comes in front, and it's not covered there. Oshie will dig it free. Back for Pietrangelo. And he walks the line to Gunnarsson. He moves in, and a shot and a save by Mason. And the rebound taken by the Flyers, and they flip it out of play. I think off the Blues players, so the face-off will come to center ice.
Well, Gunnarsson and Pietrangelo working real well on the points on that second power play unit that we just saw. But we take a look at Alex Pietrangelo walking the wall right here. He's going to play it over to his left, and that's where Gunnarsson walks in with a quick little snapshot redirection with Yashkin in front of the net. So good scoring chances. One timer from the right side for Gunnarsson, and one little shot there from the left side as they move around the points.
But now Grossman is back. The Blues 3 shots on the power play. And then Bouwmeester gets it up the boards for Tarasenko. Not cleared. McDonald now centered. Here's Giroux. He plays it back. Straight a drive on goal. And a save by Elliott. And no rebound. So the Flyers 0 for 2 in the power play. The Blues nothing for 1. No score.
Well, there's the great number 5, a heart wrapped around one of the great people in the game who turned 70 years old yesterday. So a happy birthday to Bobby Plager, 72 years old yesterday, as our dirt cheap snapshot of the game. And this, obviously, the hip check, well known for that. Do not cross the blue line. Do not try to attempt to go around Bob Plager. That's Mickey Redmond. He's going for a spill, and then he's going to take the left shoulder as well. One of the best that's ever played at timing that type of it. That's hockey sense. That's just not putting your body in the spot at some certain time. You have to time that so impeccably well. And as the story goes, and you know it better than I do, John, but the toughness of the St. Louis Blues caused the Broad Street Bullies to be the Broad Street Bullies.
Their owner, Mr. Stutter, said we won't get pushed around anymore. And they became very tough. Now the Blues into the zone. Stastny to Yashkin, but the Flyers cleared back to center ice. And then dumped in by Gunnarsson. And that's an icy call against the Blues. Well, BMO Harris Bank wants you to show your sign in support of the Blues. Tweet a picture of you and your sign to hashtag BMO Blues Sign Contest for a chance to win Blues prizes and have it shown in an upcoming broadcast. Visit bmoharris.com/Blues Sign Contest or visit a local branch near you for more details. Flyers get the puck in front. And now Raffl turns, fires it, and that's off a stick and out of play.
Well, at least the Blues are now going to be able to get a line change. Because of the icing by Gunnarsson, they're not able to get a change. And now with the white line on the ice with Ronaldo, Ryan Reeves jumps onto the ice. And we'll see if Craig Berube, one of the most respected tough guys that's played in the NHL, who's the head coach of Philadelphia, and he will leave that line going head-to-head with Ryan Reeves.
Over 3,000 penalty minutes in his career for Berube. That is 7th all-time. As Grossman goes back, he is pushed down by Reeves. And now Koliakovo is rocked by Reeves. Puck comes in, and Grossman gets it out. Marcel Gottsch back for the Blues. And then Ott turns. He was hit by a Flyer. And Mason plays it back to the goal. Now Reeves another hit. Bertuzzo comes in, and the puck to center ice. You better have your chin strap buckled up here.
Yeah.
As McDonald wanders into the Blue zone, but he loses the puck.
Yeah, that's a good shift there by Ryan Reeves, though. He really got going, good speed. Ryan Reeves played a real good game again in the last one. Set up a goal, had a helper. Obviously had a big goal in the game as well.
And now it is Chris Porter. Good forecheck there, back for Bouwmeester. Oshie lets it go through his legs. And then Lindbohm, a shot, got through, but Mason has the angle covered, and he has the puck.
Yeah, that would be one of those easy saves. A left-handed defenseman shooting from a severe angle. Easy play for the goaltender to tag that down. Here's Porter really on here behind the net, working it down low, protecting the puck, playing it back to the point to Bouwmeester. Bouwmeester plays it to the left, and I like that play by Oshie. Lets it go between his legs right over there to Petteri Lindbohm, but tough to get on the inside. The Flyers did a good job of boxing out right there.
And now the puck to center ice for Couturier. With 4 minutes left here in the opening period. And Lindbohm now for Bouwmeester. On to Backes, center ice pass. Here comes Porter, he goes wide. Trying to make a play on Luke Schenn. And now Schenn gets it back to the Flyer goal. And then picked up by Couturier. And now a hard pass by Matt Reed to center ice. Broken up. Tarasenko for the Blues. And he pulls up on the wall in front. Lindholm trying to get in front and lost the handle at the last second. Now Jaden Schwartz gets it. He'll flip it back to Pietrangelo. Working on Simmons. And now Laterra trying to get it free. It does come free to Schwartz, but his pass to the point. No one is there as the Blues were changing. And now it goes back to Gunnarsson. He is forechecked by Brayden Schenn. And then Voracek back of the goal. Here's Voracek emerging with it in the slot to Giroux. And now back for Schultz. And looking for a tip there. That was off the mark. And the Blues take over. And Gunnarsson back for Pietrangelo. Not clear. And Giroux tips it. And a high shot there by Brayden Schenn and a save by Elliott.
Brayden Schenn trying to snap that one up high. As we take a look at Gunnarsson behind that 1-4 checker in. And the Philadelphia Flyers supporting the one backhand pass there by Pietrangelo up the boards. And not strong enough. A good play there by Voracek on the right side then. Native of the Czech Republic. A good friend of a guy we just saw, Yuri Tlusty of the Winnipeg Jets.
And off the faceoff, a penalty here. And that is called by the back referee.
Yeah, Barrett Jackman not a happy
Kenny
camp
Ramosko.
Yeah. Ramosko making this phone call off the faceoff. I mean, this is the time of year where this is where you're strong on it. There's a lot more interference, and this is where maybe a little bit more leniency. But let's take a look there. I mean, Jackman's just swatting away, low chop there with at the puck at Van de Velde as Van de Velde's going for it. And it just happened to snap his stick. That's where there's such a gray area with that kind of call. In the old days, that was being strong on the puck. Strong on your stick.
Well, in the old days, the wooden stick didn't break. At least it took a lot. And now Giroux fires over 2 tonight. Right to drive. That goes high and wide. Elliott never moved.
Well, that got away from straight. That was a lot higher, I'm sure, than he wanted that to be. That was headhunting high.
And Steen clears it down the ice. And straight back to get it. A 4-time member of the Swiss Olympic team. Now worked in by Brayden Schenn. Now straight again on the left point. On this Flyer power play. For Voracek. Simmons screens in front. Now Voracek back for Streit. Fakes it onto Giroux. And his drive and a save by Elliott. Giroux is in a big-time slump. Only 2 goals in his last 20 games, Darren, and both of those on the power play.
Yeah, exactly. 0 at even strength for the captain of the Philadelphia Flyers. And the same thing with Voracek. In his last 10, just 1 goal. In his last 18, only 3. But this type of shot isn't the ideal shot. I mean, you can ask any goalie in the NHL, would you like to have that one? And they'd say yes. With Simmons in front of the net, I mean, Simmons is just waiting patiently to get some kind of puck in front off the pad or something to be redirectable. But that one is not a shot in which the forward has much of a chance to deflect it.
And now Lecavalier, who was a healthy scratch against the Blues last week. He wins it back for Koliakovo. And then a shot from the point right on by McDonald. And again, Elliott, with no screen, makes the save.
Elliott's had a very good first period. 3 power plays against. That's too much duress on your penalty killers. And you can see that just slides by the left skate of Gunnarsson. And there's Matt Reed in front of the net. Reed's had a good start to this hockey game. And this all comes on the heels of Lecavalier winning the faceoff.
And now the Flyers win another one. Here's Koliakovo, winds up and fires it just wide, looking for a tip. And a minute to go in the power play. Play to the corner now for Couturier. And now to Koliakovo. Here you can see why the Flyers are the 4th best power play. They have great synergy. Another shot got through and a save by Elliott on McDonald.
Well, the one thing that the Blues penalty killers like to do is take away the far side of the net for the goaltender and allow the goaltender, if we can stop it as it comes along, keep her going now, stop it here if we can. And you can see this line right here. So basically the goaltender's got the short side of the net on this kind of play. And Again, it makes for an easier save for the goaltender right in the belly.
And now Giroux with Simmons in front. Gets it back on the line, another shot. And that was tipped wide off a stick. And the Flyers strike. Does a good job to hold it in. The Blues have not cleared on this power play. Now it comes in front again, intended for Shen in front. And now it's finally cleared away off a Flyers stick. Under a minute to go in the first period. 15 left in Jackman's binder. And Streit wiggles to the Blues line. He goes after it against Gunnarsson. And now Streit trying to make a play. Good stick by Gunnarsson on to Schwartz. To center. Blues are back at full strength after allowing 3 Flyer shots on that power play. But Philly is 0 for 3 tonight. And now Luke Schen's pass ends up on the stick of Bertuzzo for Gunnarsson. Look out, Tarasenko. He was stood up by Luke Schenn. And now the puck comes to center ice. Gunnarsson for Bertuzzo. Into the zone to Schwartz. Leaves it Tarasenko. Can't get it through. Schwartz out of midair. A bouncing puck, and he got it on goal. And now Schwartz steals it back to the goal. And then Tarasenko missed. As the buzzer sounds as the Blues come close in the dying seconds.
Good work there by Schwartz behind the net. Didn't give up on the play. And because of that, Tarasenko has a pretty good opportunity late.
And that is the end of the first. The Blues outshot 10-8.
Schwartz makes a good play right here, passing that puck between the legs there of Shannon. Just missing on the short side is Tarasenko against Mason.
All right, let's go to Pat and Bernie.
All right, John and Darren, thank you very much here at the Fox Box inside Scott Trade Center. Bernie, at least the Blues had plenty of opportunities to work on their penalty kill and did a nice job.
Yeah, you don't want to take that many penalties, but I think Tarasenko missed one right there because I think he gets good wood on that. I mean, especially with Mason, who catches with his right glove, there's plenty of room up top, and I think if you ask Tarasenko, he's going to want that one back. But all in all, when you kill 3 penalties, Pat, you know what, no flow to the game because you're taking too many penalties, but to get out with no score, I think that's really an accomplishment. So they got to get better in the second, though.
Maybe that Tarasenko chance is a premonition of things to come for the Blues. But through one period, a lot of hard hits, a lot of penalties called, but no goals. Nothing after 20 minutes of play. St. Paul GM Country Intermission Report is next.
Scoreless after 1. Ready for the second. As Steen and White have words. And Darren White has gotten the attention of the Blues, no question.
Yeah, but 2 games in a row, there's no question. You've got to be aware of where he is on the ice. He's an agitating short, but he's a physical guy, and not afraid to get his nose dirty.
Blues hockey is sponsored by Bud Light. Sorry, Darren. It reminds fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. Go ahead.
Well, clearly the Blues have to respond with a better second period. That was not the kind of period they wanted to establish right off the hop here.
Well, it is Yashkin along with Steen and Stastny. And Steen on the cycle. Poliakovos smashed by Yashkin. And then the Blues get it free. Steen a shot. Didn't get through. And then Steen trying to roll off that check down low. Back for Jackman. Jackman backdoor feed. Good play. But Stastny couldn't redirect it. And now Schwartz onto the ice. He deals it back to Jackman. And his pass goes all the way around the boards. Picked up by Yashkin. Centering pass. Taken care of by Ryan White. And now to center ice for Michael Raffl, the Austrian. One of 3 Austrians in the NHL. And now Jackman, what a pass to center ice. And it's a 2-on-1. Stastny now 3-on-1 to Schwartz. And a save by Mason on a 3-on-1.
That go off the knob of his stick as well because it blew right out of his hand.
And now the Flyers come back in. Tipped in front. And the Blues another odd-man rush. Tarasenko and Schwartz. Tarasenko right in. Gets it in front to Stastny, and he can't get it as the puck rolls. And now the Flyers right back. Voracek a shot and a save by Elliott. As all of a sudden this game opens up.
Well, first one started because of a brilliant pass there from Barrett Jackman.
Now Gunnarsson for Pietrangelo. And he was checked in the play. Comes around to Wayne Simmons, who tips it by Schwartz. And now Simmons comes in and drive. And that goes wide on the short side. And here come the Blues the other way. It is Oshie in front. Laterra gets turned around, a shot, and that goes just wide. And now Chris Porter trying to hunt it down. Collides with Matt Reed. And then Oshie comes in there. Flyers get it. And a pass for Simmons over his stick, but it comes to center ice. And now recovered by Oshie. And then Porter was back in, but offside on right wing.
Just offside there. Good collision there with Wayne Simmons and TJ Oshie as well on that last play in the neutral zone. But 2 2-on-1 breaks. One here with Schwartz. Watch this wrist shot go off the knob of the stick there, or just knock it barely out of the hand there of the goaltender Mason. And then the first period here, Gunnarsson fans on one, and here in super slow motion, watch Stastny on the short side, right off the end of the stick there, right above the blocker, the shaft of the stick of the goaltender Mason. But the other 2-on-1 break, boy, Vladdy Tarasenko's a shooter. Shooters shoot and dancers dance, don't they? But he wanted to wait and make a play over to the side, and the defenseman went down and took away that space.
And now the puck brought to center ice by Gotch. And the Flyers lob it back in. And now Robert Bertuzzo up the middle, intended for Ott. And just by him, he would have been in clear sailing. And now the Flyers get the puck to center. Ronaldo. And that's dumped in. Jack with the first blue back. On the cycle, that's tipped. And now Vandevelde has it for the Flyers. He played at North Dakota with Oshie and Porter. And the Flyers have 2 men in deep, and they get it free. But now recovered by Gotch, on for Ott. And he gets the puck across the ice. And then Bertuzzo with a little bit of a lob shot by Bertuzzo, and then we get Reeves involved in front. Well, 2015-2016 season ticket packages, including fulls, halves, and 12-game packages, went on sale today, which is 10% down on 2015-16 packages. You receive playoff purchasing priority for this year, and with an additional commitment to the final 6 games of the season, playoff games will be discounted even further. To guarantee your seat for this year's playoffs and next year's action, go to stlouisblues.com. And a shot taken by Steen was off a stick and out of play.
Yeah, right off the left skate of the defenseman Mark Streit. And that faceoff will be inside the Flyers zone. We mentioned that Steen and Stastny, they started the first 2 games of the year on the same line. And this is the 14th time that Steen has played on the same line as Paul Stastny.
And now with Yashkin, the Roaring 20s line put together for the Blues tonight.
That's when you started broadcasting.
Oh, nice. That's, all right, we'll end that now. As the Blues get the bye, I was going to make a hair joke. Here are the Flyers. And a shot on goal by White, and a save there by Elliott. And then White goes right to the paint.
An interesting line here for Craig Berube. And they've been effective, Ronaldo, White, and Raffl. Just funneling pucks towards the net. In that first period, the Philadelphia Flyers had 25 shot attempts at Brian Elliott. There's a quick little play. Good position there by Elliott. An easy save. No secondary pressure, but White does get there anyway to try to stir it up a little bit in front of the net. But that's a heavy workload there for Brian Elliott in that first period. 3 power plays against. And even though some of the shots missed, that's 25 attempts. That's a lot of action.
Gunnarsson led the Blues with 3 shots on goal, and Gunnarsson ladles it down the ice. No icing here. Porter comes in quickly against McDonald.
The linesman felt that the defenseman McDonald took a different route to get to that puck.
Now Giroux on to Voracek. Those two were split up for a few games. Now a shot from the line. Hits in traffic on the way through. And now the Flyers down low. McDonald to the corner. And then for Braden Shen. And McDonald trying to keep it in there. He does. Giroux lobbed one to the corner again for Voracek. And he drifts out high. And is checked there by Porter. Shots in the second period, 2 apiece. No score in the game. And Braden Shen comes in. Gets away from back as a shot. And that hit a leg on the way through maybe Giroux. And now Giroux gets it down low for Simmons. Pushed to the wall by Gunnarsson. And then Simmons away from Tarasenko. And the puck in front. And a quick shot there by Reed. Hit a stick. Taken by Gunnarsson. Looking for some room. Pietrangelo off the glass. And down the ice. Schwartz will get there first. No icing here. And now Schwartz pushed down back of the goal by Koliakovo. Laterra comes in to Tarasenko. On the give and go, that was disrupted by the Flyers.
Yeah, good keep in there by Bortuzzo. He didn't bail off the blue line, was able to keep it in.
And now the puck comes in front of the goal, Luke Schenn, the older brother of Braden. Simmons steers one in there. Bortuzzo back to the Blues. And now to Jackman for Tarasenko. And then grabbed by Jori Laterra, who has 5 points in his last 2 games. This rolls it on goal. Mason flips it ahead. And then Couturier to center ice. Blues get it back.
Oh, good job by Jackman. He wants to get that line, push that puck in deep, get this pace going a little bit for the forechecking forwards here.
And now Nick Schultz rattles it off the boards down the ice. Not far enough for icing. Lindholm tipped by Ott as he goes down. Gotch into the corner, trying to get it free for the Blues, along with Reeves. Now Bellemare back of the goal. And then Streit, almost stripped of the puck there by Gotch. And then Schultz again. He's punished by Reeves. Both clubs trying to establish a forecheck. And a pass by LeCavalier goes down, but no icing again. As the Flyer got there first, that was Van de Velde. Throws it back to the goal. Now Bellemare for McDonald. Good stick there by Steen to block it. Here it looks like at every opportunity, both teams are just putting up a fierce forecheck. There's just no room on the ice at this point. Now Gunnarsson takes care of his man. That was LeCavalier, where he would have been in the clear. And Yashkin flies the other way for the Blues. And he goes wide on McDonald. And then rolls off a check. In front of Steen, and he tipped it just wide. Good play there. And then back to Pietrangelo. Now to Jackman. That was intended for Steen. He was involved with a Flyer. Didn't see the pass coming. And then Stastny back on line. Good glove keep in there by Bortuzzo. And then Mason to the corner to Grossman. And the puck pinballs around now in front. Stastny a shot. On goal. Yashkin is robbed by Mason as he sprawls and makes a big-time save. And that might have been his best stop tonight on Yashkin.
Well, Dmitry Yashkin with 11 goals so far this year and a +7 at even strength. Really protecting the puck well, going to his back, and after he stops on a dime and rolls off a check, he waits for Steen to get to the front. It was perfectly executed. Steen gets a good little redirect there, and a better save by Mason. Pietrangelo went D to D, and this is at the end of it there, and Yashkin's got it after Mason made the first save, and he's just sprawling, desperately going to his left. The big 6'4", 220-pound goaltender stretched out as much as he could. Hard for a forward to elevate the puck while he's reaching out like that, fully extended.
This past weekend, the goalie coach of the Flyers, Jeff Reese, left the team. Rather odd to have that happen mid-season. As now Reed comes in and a drive and a save by Elliott. Rebound pops in the slot, knocked away by Bouwmeester. And now Laterra, who's lost his helmet, he comes in and can't get a shot. And then fired down the ice by Simmons. And this should be an icing call. It is against the visitors. Well, the Cardinals and Marlins square off tomorrow at noon in Jupiter. Cardinal Spring Training Baseball live tomorrow and all weekend right here on Fox Sports Midwest. And after the icing, Backus on the ice for the Blues. And he'll take it against Couturier. And they battle for it back to the line. Pietrangelo thought about shooting now for Gunnarsson. Into Oshie, and he can't get a backhander through. And Simmons the other way for the Flyers. Elliott sets the table back of the goal for Pietrangelo. Hard pass to center, caroms to a flyer. Now Giroux gets it into the middle of the ice, and the Blues have it. Here they come again. Oshie in the slot. Pietrangelo, a drive right on goal, and a save by Mason. On a hard shot by Pietrangelo. And now the Flyers have the puck. And they get to center ice. 3-on-2. Giroux for Voracek. Backdoor feed to Schultz, and he wasn't quite ready for it. And the Blues up the left wing side for Porter. He'll flop one into the zone. And now Porter follows up and pushes one back of the goal to Backes. And he is met there by Schultz. And now it's just pried free by Yashkin, and then in front. And Steen shot block. And it's in the Flyer players' paraphernalia. Kept in there by Jackman. Now off a leg to center ice. And then Bertuzzo for Jackman.
Boy, did Alex Pietrangelo have a golden opportunity. Real good patience shown there by Oshie, and it allowed Pietrangelo to walk right in the middle in a high-quality shot area.
And then Bertuzzo strong at his own line. Pass into the wing. Here's Steen. Rolls off a check. Now Steen in front to Stastny, and just off his skate wide. And the puck to center ice. And Jackman for Bertuzzo. Stastny, great pass to Yashkin. He springs up the middle. And a backhander comes in front. And now Steen to the point for Jackman. He's wide open. Now Jackman a drive. Tipped wide by Yashkin. And then Steen back to the goal. This has been the Blues' best line here in the second period. And the puck tipped by a Flyer back to center ice.
Yeah, Bertuzzo had no option rather than to bail out there, because he's afraid if he steps up there, that puck gets tipped by him. So good patience shown there by Bertuzzo at the right point.
And a good hit by Ott. Just past the midway point here in the second. The shot's 5-3 for the Blues here in this middle frame. And the Flyers feed it down the ice. That rolls wide. And an icing call.
Well, the pressure has all started because of the Stastny line with Steen and Yashkin. Oh, there's going to be a timeout being called here. 9:31 of the second period, and Craig Berube has called a timeout. Tired group of players on the ice. Good shift there by Steve Ott, who scored a brilliant goal in the last one. And there is Craig Berube against the West. They're 11-7-4, but they've lost their last 4 on the road. And you can see this backhand play, slick little play here by Steen, and it goes off the right skate and the left skate, just off the mark of the tape there of Stastny as he's driving hard of the net, trying to get to the inside on Schultz. And here's that pass by Oshie right to Pietrangelo. And Pietrangelo, good shot right there. Just before that shift, you could hear Ken Hitchcock just saying to the players, to the next line that was going out, John, the next line, just saying that the first play is on the net. The first play is on the net. So a little reluctance to get that puck towards Mason and drive hard. A little bit more meat and potatoes, I think, is what he's asking for.
Well, Darren, as you know, Hitch has a theory. If you shoot the puck on net, you almost always get it back, because the other team is facing their goal.
Yeah.
And then you get the puck back for more opportunities.
And in all fairness to these players, it is easier to convince third and fourth line guys to do that. The creative guys, there's always another play that they're thinking about, as we well know.
And those creative guys on the ice here. Tarasenko off the face-off. Tried to go back to the line. Picked off by Ryan White. And off the boards and in. And now the Flyers can make the change.
And they get the change. They get the big meaty defenseman there, Grossman, going up against the Laterra line.
And now the puck off the boards at center ice. Scooped up by Giroux. And then a shot blocked. And they swat away. It rolls into the Blues goal crease area, covered by Elliott. 9:05 to go in the second. Still no score.
It's the same stuff we're doing. We played 10 minutes. We played really well. Probably the one thing is shoot the puck on the odd man rushes. They lied down on a few of them and took the pass away. But just got to keep playing. This is a desperate team. They've lost 3 in a row. They're playing hard. They played as hard as anybody. We just got to keep going. Thanks, Hitch.
And thanks to Coach Ken Hitchcock, as he goes for career win number 700. Last week, the Blues led 1-0 through 2 periods in Philly before the Flyers scored 3 in the third. So another tight game between these two longtime rivals. And his back is on the faceoff. Gets it from Braden Shen. And moved along by Gunnarsson. And then Pietrangelo off the boards, tipped along by Oshie. And then Porter, the first man in there, against McDonald. And Porter gets it free. Back to Bertuzzo. And he plays that bank play off the boards. Where is it? It's off the back of the net and now covered by Steve Mason. Well, Blues fans, be sure to download the Blues mobile app presented by Walgreens. Get in-game goal alerts, news, features, special offers, and more. View the schedule, buy tickets right from the app, upgrade your seats while at the game, and much more. It's available in the App Store and on Google Play, or download the app from stlouisblues.com. As Couturier wins the face-off from Stastny, but now Stastny gets it for the Blues. Gets a little pick there from Yashkin, back to Bouwmeester, and a wrist shot got through, and a save by Mason.
A good walk in the line there by Jay Bouwmeester. He had to quickly go as a left-hand shot, take it on the backhand, and you can see it as he gets to the line. He's got to walk it over here quickly. Now watch the action in front of the net. He's looking for Steen's stick for a little redirection. Now Steen's not able to get that on the backhand or as a left-hand shot, and Mason's able to glove her down.
And now Steen worked over from behind by Luke Shen. And then Yashkin was upended in the corner by Koliakovo. And the Flyers exit the zone. Here comes Simmons. Leads the club with 26 goals. One of 2 20-goal scorers this year. Darren, last year the Flyers had 7 players with 20 or more goals. So a big reason why they're in the playoffs. They're not scoring as much.
Nope. And at even strength. They're relying on the power play. They're relying on that, but you've got your best players have to score at even strength if you're going to be successful.
And now it is Lindbohm up the ice here. Gets it free in the corner. Laterra trying to pry it away from Couturier. And now it is Schwartz. And he gets it in front. Oh, and White just got it away from Tarasenko.
Good hand-eye coordination there. White's got the fat paddle of the blade right there. Otherwise, that little saucer pass was on the mark.
Now White a pass in the slot. Intercepted. Tarasenko thinking offense. Has 33 goals this year. Trying to cut to the middle. He gets free. And then fans on the shot. Has it again. And backhands one down low. Picked up by Laterra. Now Laterra to Tarasenko. And a shot blocked by Schultz. He was wide open in the slot.
Well, because Ronaldo lost his man. Ronaldo was so worried about trying to get a piece of Tarasenko that Tarasenko then was able to slide into the high slot. And you can see here, Ronaldo goes right by him. Now Tarasenko's going to slide in there in the middle of the ice there. And this pass was on the mark by his good buddy Jori Laterra. But that goes up high and into the netting.
And the Blues send out Backes against Giroux. And Giroux wins it. Now McDonald for Nicholas Grossman. And then to center ice for McDonald. He flops it in, a tricky one there, and Elliott makes the save. And now back to Grossman. Winds and fires, blocked by Oshie off his ankle to center.
Yeah, he got right in the shooting lane there. Good angles there shown by Oshie. He's a good athlete. He could probably play goal if he wanted to.
Here's Gunnarsson on to center. Oshie now to the corner for Backes, trying to bump Grossman off the puck, and then Porter comes in. And then Porter knocks a flyer to the ice.
See the position of Reeves. He doesn't want to get in there too deep. You need a third man high, and Porter supported him.
And now the puck to center ice. Gunnarsson there for the Blues. Here's Reeves down his off wing. Now Reeves a backhander blocked. And now back for Pietrangelo.
Oh, what a play.
Great move at the line by Pietrangelo. And he shoots one. That was blocked by Shen. Oh! Backes and a backhander. Penalty called here.
They call an interference call here on Reeves. Yes, they are. I'm looking at the referee, and that's exactly what he's just called. Evgeny Ramasco making the call. Good pressure here by the Blues. They've had a good second period. Real good second period after 3 power plays against them in the first period. What a move by Alex Pietrangelo. He gives him the old 9 of hearts there to Claude Giroux, the captain. Now the play's see, the puck's not anywhere near him. It's the right call. I mean, they don't like the call, but the puck's over there to the left, and Reeves I don't know if Reeves knew where the puck was or if he assumed it was going in that direction. But, John, unlike football, you can't just go drill somebody.
Well, you can't drill somebody in football unless they have the ball, so it's quite the same. Flyers 0 for 3 with 6 shots. So Reeves gone for interference. As Couturier leaves it back of the goal. And moved around by Koliakovo. Dumped in by McDonald. Reed lets it go. Tipped by LeCavalier. And that's kept in the zone. Now Couturier to the corner. Here's Reed on the half wall for Couturier. Good stick there by Gotch along with Pietrangelo. And now the Flyers try to go to the line. And a good read by Gotch. And on the backhand, he gets it out. And now LeCavalier again. Great pass to Simmons. And he would have been in the clear, but that was just offside.
Close call right there. Otherwise, Simmons is in all alone. But, John Kelly, I want to go back to the minor penalty because my eyes from my angle, I had a different view of it. But when the puck carrier is going to be right here. I'm sorry, that's Reeves right there. Let's keep your eye on it. Now the puck's going to come there, and see, at my angle, I thought the puck was clearly away from him, but there it's a lot closer, and that's why the fans didn't like it. And I'm sure even from your view in the booth, you probably had a better look at how close that puck was towards the player that he drilled, McDonald.
It all happens in real speed when you're the referee on the ice. Maybe he didn't see the puck. And now David Backes. And he kills some more time on this Flyer power play. And now Backes on the forecheck. 45 left in Reeves minor. Moved along by Streit to Giroux. And around the inboards it goes. Gunnarsson. He knocks the Flyer off the puck. But it's kept in by Streit. And around to Voracek. Streit fakes it. Now Giroux with it. Streit, Voracek, a drive off Jackman's leg and wide. And then Gunnarsson trying to clear it out. That's kept in there. Voracek again, a shot. And again a save by Jackman in front of the Blues. Fire it down the ice.
Yeah, good block in there and an easy clear out there by Jori Lehtera. Now fresh group on the ice. Stastny and Oshie up front.
And that'll do it. No shots on this power play. And the Flyers now 0 for 4. And LeCavalier comes in a high drive and a save by Elliott. Kept in by Luke Schenn. To Grossman, back to Schenn. And a drive and a head-hunting shot. Hits the glass and now goes out of play. Another good kill by the Blues. 0-0 here in the second. It is a tight defensive struggle here at Scott Trade. No score. 3:49 left in the second period. Here's tonight's BMO Harris Bank quick pick of the game from Dr. Kyle. Is it our year? Well, Darren, we'll find out in about a month as the Blues head to the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Got here early to the game. That's at the top of Scottrade.
Yeah, it's sold out. No seats available tonight on Tarasenko Bobblehead Night.
Well, why would there be?
No, Raffl, who wears number 12 for the Flyers. Signed as a free agent. Back of the line, Grossman with it. And a drive. That was off for Tuzo. And Steen the other way. He pulls up now for Yashkin. And he loses an edge in the corner. Now Steen to the line to Jackman. Rolling puck a shot. And that's tipped wide by Stastny. And now the Flyers play it high off the boards. And this flops to center ice. And then Jackman for Bertuzzo. Up the boards, tipped along by Lehtera. And then now we have a skirmish back of the puck in the play. Bertuzzo had dropped his glove, but couldn't find a dance partner.
Yeah, he's got a cut on the nose.
And Couturier the shot and a save by Elliott.
Well, the two gloves are neatly side by each with the stick line right there.
So he was cut. He wasn't trying to fight. Straight for the Flyers to Reed. And broken up at center ice. Lehtera tips it. He gets it back from Tarasenko, and a drive was off the stick of Schultz and into the netting.
Well, Ronaldo banged up over the eye. Bortuzzo banged up over the eye. So it's this action right up here on the left. Bortuzzo makes the pass. Ronaldo finished the hit. By this point here, Bortuzzo identifies that Ronaldo is not dropping the mitts. So instead of one player dropping the mitts and getting a minor penalty, you can see Bortuzzo, he took the stick. They both took sticks up high. So Bortuzzo is defending himself as he's going to get hit. And both of them get clipped. And boy, Bortuzzo's got a pretty good cut on the nose and going to need some cotton in those old nostrils right now.
These two teams played to a shootout last year in St. Louis, won by the Blues. The Flyers, including tonight, have scored only 1 goal in their last 4 games in this building.
Right now, just keep our eye on the pairing. For 2 minutes left to go to see if Bortuzzo's eyes are obviously going to be a little watered up there with that hit on the schnoz.
And now the puck played by Bouwmeester. Here's Oshie over skates it. Nice play now for Pietrangelo. He goes outside, and a shot off the outside of the goalpost.
Oh, I love that. The way Alex Pietrangelo is moving right now. This is the most instinctive he's been all year. Confident with the puck, holding on to it. Patient with the puck. He's created a lot of good scoring chances from the Blues.
And now the puck is flipped in by Brayden Schenn. And Bortuzzo heads to the Blues locker room, dripping blood. And the puck goes down the ice. And we get a tripping minor here.
Right across from me on the penalty box side, McDonald is going to go off. And
Georgia fait penalty, 2 minutes for tripping.
so Kenny Ramasco not afraid to dive into this game. He's had 8 and 9 minor penalties that he's called, and a trip up right there by McDonald. And awkwardly, Ott goes down, but the Blues will get a power play here. I'd like to say, too, best wishes. You know, Chad O'Neill, one of the great equipment managers here for the Blues. He's not here for tonight's game, but Chad, we know that your daughter Kylie had a little work done. So get well, Kylie, and see if we can get you a Blues win here.
Absolutely. Great family. Now it's Steen. Blues on their second power play. They had 3 shots on their first attempt. Now back for Pietrangelo. Around to Tarasenko. Steen. And then for Schwartz. And Schwartz slows it down. Now for Laterra. He surveys the ice. Back to Steen. Fakes the shot. Tarasenko. And he broke his stick right in half. And the Flyers back to center ice in Belmar. And at the line, the little thief Schwartz is there to steal it. And now Pietrangelo in for Laterra. On this Blues power play. And Laterra tried to drop it off. Now back for Pietrangelo. And again, he walks the line on to Steen. Steen fires it off the goalpost. Oh, a rocket by Steen. 35 to go in the period. Now Pietrangelo a drive and a save by Mason with his glove.
Oh, Steen got a lot on that one. And again, it starts with the patience and walking the line and the mobility of Pietrangelo on the blue line, waiting for the opening. And Alexander Steen ends up hitting the far pipe. This was the first one, the second one, excuse me, by Pietrangelo. This was right after Alexander Steen here, top of the circles, good angle. Oh, did it just glance off the top part of the pad and then off the post? Oh, half an inch.
He got a piece of it.
He did, didn't he?
25 left in the period. And the Flyers dig it out of the corner. And here comes Couturier, short-handed, snaps a shot. And a good save there by Elliott. And now David Backes, walked up from behind, plays it ahead to Pietrangelo. And now Steen, as we close into the final few seconds, and a shot by Oshie handled by Mason. And another scoreless period. Blues outshoot the Flyers 7-6 in the second. But it has been a goaltender's battle tonight. Pat and Bernie Federko, over to you.
All right, John, thank you very much. This was a period that the Blues had the better of the play in a lot of ways, Bernie, especially even strength. And now on the power play, they had a couple of opportunities as well. It's just a matter of time, it seems.
Well, you would hope. I mean, this is a good, patient game, and these are the games that the Blues have to continue to play. They can't get ahead of themselves. You got to be patient with a team like the Flyers. The Flyers really have got nothing to lose right now. They're playing to win this game. So if you all of a sudden start giving them scoring chances, it's not a good thing to do. So patience again. The Blues still have a few seconds to go to start the third period on the power play, and it's going to probably only take one to win this, and hopefully it's going to be the Blues that get it.
Let's hope so. We'll break it all down in detail coming up on the Jack in the Box Intermission Report. TJ Oshie and the gang, well, they're still scoreless against these Flyers here at Scottrade. You're watching Blues hockey on Fox Sports Midwest.
No score after 2 as we get set for the third period in St. Louis between the Blues and the Flyers. John Kelly upstairs. Darren Pang is down between the benches. And Darren, from your perspective, which line of the Blues has been the best tonight?
Well, I mean, I think in that second period, the Stastny line started getting things clicking. Dmitry Yashkin holding on to the puck in the corner, getting pucks to the front of the net, and creating some scoring chances. And, you know, Steens played almost 13 minutes with 6 shot attempts, and Paul Stastny with 3. Dmitry Yashkin also with 3. The second period, I think, got a little bit better for the Blues. They created some better scoring chances, while that period was a little bit more at even strength in the first period, while the Blues were shorthanded 3 times. But the one area that has been dominated by the Philadelphia Flyers has been on the faceoff dot. They're nearly 60% on the road so far in this game, led by Claude Giroux. And that's an area that I think the Blues will really, really want to improve on here in the third period in a 0-0 hockey game. Having puck possession is everything. Here's that shot by Steen. He's got Yoda written on the shaft of his stick. So while Star Wars night ended a couple of nights ago, we'll see if there's any magic in Yoda's twig right there. But he got all of it on that one there. As we start this period with a brief power play, 28 seconds.
So the Blues in the power play. The Blues this year, when tied after 2, a record of 9-6-1. The Flyers went even 11-6-6. And the Blues control the faceoff. Pietrangelo and Gunnarsson on defense. Up front, Tarasenko, Stastny, and Steen. Here's Steen, lobbed one to the corner. Picked up by Stastny. Twist one back to Tarasenko. He gets it back from Stastny. Now the top for Pietrangelo. Played on to Tarasenko, and a shot. Oh, hit. And a rebound attempt to Steen, and a save by Mason after that first shot hit Stastny up high.
That got away from Tarasenko. It got away, probably rolled off the blade and up high, and that got Stastny right in the, looked like the shoulder, maybe glanced off the shoulder to the side of the head, but nonetheless could have been a potentially real dangerous play there.
Blues 2 shots in the power play, but now 0 for 2. And this is Sean Couturier deep in his own zone. On to center ice to Nick Schultz, tipped away by Lindholm, and then lifted in by Backes.
And as Tarasenko came to the bench, John, he said, sorry about that. it's Vladdy Tarasenko bobblehead night here.
And now Reed gets to a loose puck, throws it right through the goal crease, and it comes back to Grossman. Around the boards intended for Matt Reed. Good pinch there by the Flyer, but he's knocked down by Porter. And a 2-on-2 break here now for Laterra. Trying to slide it through, back of the goal. Oshie takes out his man. Blues get to the puck. Schwartz in front, a shot, and a save by Mason. Good chance there for Schwartz. And now Gunnarsson. And then Schwartz flips one too high for Oshie. Rattles around, and now Pietrangelo. And then back down low again. Simmons there. And he gets the puck away from Pietrangelo, and now to center ice. And then Reed dumps it in. And Gunnarsson scampers back for the Blues. In this scoreless game to Tarasenko. Nice pass to Stastny. Through for Schwartz. Trying to get to the front. He does, but the Flyers break it up. And they work it near the line, and now to center ice. Then Braden Chin comes in. He pulls up and a high drive and a save by Elliott. Then he gets the glove over. That initial shot, Darren, might have hit him on the mask.
Well, tough play for the forward. Vladdy Tarasenko backing up here on a 2-on-2 break, and Brian Elliott will take off that mask because that first one dinged him flush on the melon. But here's that Bortuzzo pushes Tarasenko over there. Tarasenko does a good job of challenging the shot and not backing off. Here's the play by Schwartz coming around the net in super slow-mo. Not a lot of room there. And again, goaltender with the glove on the far side makes an easy save there. Here's that shot by Tarasenko, and you can see that it just grazes off the left shoulder of Stastny.
And the face-off is won by Stastny. Now ahead for Steen. And he funnels it ahead now for Dmitry Yashkin. Drops it off to Steen, a drive, and a save by Mason. And then Steen again to Stastny.
Good shot there.
And the Flyers have it, can't clear it. Kept in, now around to Bortuzzo. He works in, and a save by Mason again with his glove.
And he shoots it hard. Bortuzzo with another strong game here as he tries to step up on Ronaldo again. Oh, sorry, that wasn't Ronaldo, that was Vandevelde.
And now the Blues with Jackman. Two Flyers around him. He goes for a skate. On defense with Bortuzzo. And the Blues to center ice. And Bortuzzo leaves it for Ott. And broken up in the corner. Now Reeves comes over there. Someone's lost a stick. The puck slides to center. And then Bortuzzo right back in the zone. And handled by McDonald. And then White drilled down at center. Good open ice hit there by Reeves. And Bouwmeester back first for the Blues. Around the boards for Reeves. And then Bouwmeester for Lindholm. Tip to center ice, and then Ott gets a piece of that one. Reeves on the forecheck. And now the Flyers get back in numbers. On the forecheck. And he can't get it away from Chris Porter. And now the Flyers up the middle. Here's Voracek. In with Braden Shen. Stops to make a play. Backhander blocked. And it never got through on Elliott. And now Luke Shen a drive. That got through, and a save by Ryan Elliott.
Yeah, Backus did a good job of pushing Braden Shen out of the way. So at least if it got through, that Elliott would have a better view of it. But I think it hit the pants of Backus.
And then Oshie at the line. He was stripped of the puck. Carried back in by Pietrangelo now for Porter. Twisting and turning down low. Back on the line. Pietrangelo a shot. Off a leg out high. And now Oshie in the right spot. And with the puck in front. Here's Bouwmeester coming in. A drive. Tipped on goal. And a save again by Steve Mason.
Good low shot by Bouwmeester. Very deflectable shot.
And then Schwartz tried to walk down the boards. Lost it. And it is Giroux back in for the Flyers. Tight angle. Pass right through the blue paint. And now Nick Schultz a drive. That's fought off by Elliott. And then the puck picked up by Reed. Deep slot, a shot by Streit. And that was off a body in front. Flyers work it down low. Backhander on goal. Saved by Elliott. Loose. He's down. And now knocked back to the goal. And now Wayne Simmons for Couturier. Winds up. And a shot. I'm not sure what that hit. Couturier gets it again. And that hit Laterra, and Karams to center ice.
Right off the left skate of Jori Laterra. Good block right there.
And then lifted back in by Schultz.
Yeah, the Blues had to calm down and sort things out of the defensive zone there. They're running around just a little bit.
Great pass by Bortuzzo. Here comes Yashkin. And his backhander. And a save by Mason. And now Steen tracks it down. Back of the Flyer goal. It's McDonald up the boards now for Couturier. And lifted up the middle. Good back check there by Dmitry Yashkin. And he gets it by Andrew McDonald. Steen on the forecheck. Flyers playing around now for Belmar, but not out of the zone. And Steen trying to make a play. That hit him. And now it does carry him to center ice. Recovered by Yashkin. And then Belmar, the native of France, fires it in deep. Elliott, a risky play there up the right wing side.
Yep, good pass, though, right on the tape.
And then dumped in by Backus. Steered around by the goaltender, Mason. And now Raffle ahead for the Flyers. Look out, he's buried by Backus.
Thanks for coming. What an open ice hit.
And now 3-on-2. It's Oshie. To Porter, a drive, and he whistled that one wide. And now Oshie down low on Luke Shen. Gets some help there from Porter. And then back of the goal. Here's Luke Shen again. And nowhere to go with it.
Good pressure there. First forechecker in, and that's Ocean. He's stuck with Shen.
Shots in this third period, 7-5 for the Blues. Who will light the lamp first? Blues at center ice. Reeves comes in. He swings wide. Pass in front. And Gotch was in the area, couldn't get a stick down. And now the Flyers back to center. Claude Giroux dumps one to the corner. Braden Shen wrapped up there by Pietrangelo. And now Ott ahead for Reeves. On the wall, Hornacek there in front. And Giroux's shot was tipped off a blue stick wide. And then Gunnarsson in the corner against Braden Shen. Gunnarsson works it ahead to Gotch. Nice little short pass to Ott. And just like that, the Blues to center ice, Pietrangelo. His pass hit a skate. And goes to Braden Shen.
At this time of year, those little 5-foot passes are the most effective. Good support down low by Ott.
And now Voracek winds up off the leg of Pietrangelo. And the puck in behind the goal. In front now to Reed. And too hot to handle. And that's kept in by Streit. That try. Tip wide of the goal. Shot that by Reeves. And now picked up by the thief Schwartz. One-on-one. Here's Schwartz. He goes outside. And a shot back against the grain. And a save there by Mason.
Good little move there by Schwartz.
And now Laterra for Schwartz. And a drive. Mason again a save with his glove. And the Blues get it free again. Schwartz to Tarasenko. And that was broken up by Reed. And he comes back the other way for the Flyers. He gets it from Couturier. Now Reed a pass to the back. And kept alive by Koliakovo. And around to Wayne Simmons in front. And a shot by Couturier just off the outside of the Blues goal. And now Koliakovo. He plays catch out high. He gets it again, a shot. Blocked in front by Bertuzzo. And then feathered back to center ice by Laterra.
Quick counter, though, by Philly here.
Here's Couturier, winds up, and a save by Elliott. As he saw that one from 50 feet away. Great action at both ends. 11:09 to go in the third. No score.
Of course, want to get the 2 points tonight and then host Minnesota Saturday before going to Dallas on Sunday.
But even with the win, the Stars with an uphill climb to make the playoffs. And off the faceoff, Oshie gets it from LeCavalier. Now in for Porter. He pulls up, gets free in a shot. And that's knocked away with the stick of Mason. And now Porter and Oshie. But the Flyers to center ice and LeCavalier. And he fans on the pass. Here's Backes into the zone to Porter. And a shot blocked at the defense. And then Porter smacks it around the boards to Backes. Turns and fires it in a save by Mason. And no further play.
Well, that's good communication there. Keeping the puck going north by TJ Oshie and his former North Dakota Sioux mate Chris Porter as they layer it up the right side. And a good play, layering it up. And by the time Porter got the puck, this is the secondary chance here. Passed by David Backes, but the first one, Porter then stopped on a dime and is waiting for the late guy. Jammed it towards the net. Well, that's the way that the Blues want to play, is that north-south game here and not get too east-western here in a 0-0 game with 10 minutes to go.
Well, they've had 11 shots in this period.
Yeah, very good period.
Now to Steen. In the slot. Stastny hadn't lost it. And the Flyers punt one to center ice. And then Couturier gets it back to the goal. Here's Jackman. Nice pass to Stastny. And now ahead for Steen. He just flips it by Streit and goes after it. And now Streit goes down Stastny. Smashes one back the other way. And tracked down by Steen. For Bertuzzo. And that was intended for Stastny. The puck now taken by the Flyers. And now Reed deep in his own zone.
A lot of bench slamming to the door there too by Wright, John, and it's been one of those choppy, kind of frustrating games for each line to get things going. There's been moments and spurts.
Now lifted in by Pietrangelo. Andrew McDonald. Giveaway, Tarasenko. Stunner step move. A shot, Laterra. Unbelievable save by Mason on Laterra.
You gotta be kidding me.
And a 2-on-2. Led by Giroux. And a save by Elliott. And no rebound. Are you kidding me? What a save on Laterra.
Quite a sterling performance here in the third period by both these goaltenders. In the last game, Mason made 28 saves and only gave up 1 goal against in that 3-1 win. One was an empty net goal, of course, against Elliott. But boy, both guys very, very sharp here. Quality scoring chances. Little shot there by Bouwmeester. Traffic in front of the net. And then a little stutter step move there by Jaden Schwartz cutting in. And this one here by Tarasenko. A brilliant feed by Tarasenko against the grain. And Laterra just can't get that over the pad. And an outstanding stretch there with the left pad.
And the Blues win the face-off. Here's Chris Porter. Get some help there from Backes. With 9:10 left in the third period. And now we get the whistle as the puck is under Porter. Well, this month, Fox Sports Midwest will televise the Missouri High School Basketball Championships presented by Bob Marito Automotive Group. Catch the boys and girls Class 1, 2, and 3 finals live Saturday on Fox Sports Midwest Plus, and the Class 4 and 5 finals on March 21st. And they'll bring the face-off back to the left of Elliott. And Stastny wins it from Couturier.
Well, Tarasenko made like a point guard there on that last pass against the grain, looking one way.
Now it's Steen coming in front of Yashkin. Gets it, and a save again by Mason on a point-blank chance from Yashkin. And the Flyers, Reed throws it down the ice.
Great back checking there by the Blues. 5 men all over that puck carrier, Reed.
And now Couturier trying to kick it away from Yashkin. It does come free, but picked up by Bouwmeester. And then Steen at the line, can't get there. And now Bouwmeester with those long strides to center, rips it around the boards.
I think he's done a very good job considering the lack of energy that he's had to jump into the lineup here against a pretty high-paced game.
And now Yashkin, he reverses his flow in front of Steen to the backhand, and then he had his pocket picked at the last second. And the Flyers in Luke Schenn. Plays one to the corner. And Koliakovo now to Couturier. And Philly to center ice. That's blocked by Jori Laterra. His pass tipped away. Now it comes to Tarasenko. Oh, he dropped it back in a giveaway. And Voracek. And Elliott bailed it out with a big save after Tarasenko. Inexplicably went backwards with it. And now Tarasenko goes the right way. When it's knocked down as he tries to go around the defense. Now in front. Here's Schwartz. In front. A shot by Tarasenko. That was tipped wide. And it comes in front again. Laterra. And it's behind the goalie, but under his pad. And we get a whistle.
What a game. First, Tarasenko is going the wrong way with the drop pass. Trying on a regroup there. But then the Blues end up getting it the other way. Good scoring chance. Schwartz plays it across, then the puck is bounced. A good swat at it there by Laterra. And there's the drop pass by Tarasenko. Voracek's the only guy there. The Blues are trying to get their 2 defensemen off on a line change. And here's that last scoring chance there by Yashkin as well.
And now Gotch wins it, a drive from the line by Bertuzzo. And Mason got in the way of that. And then Gotch battles on the wall. Flyers flip it high, and it won't go all the way for icing. And Robert Bertuzzo back there. Skating away from Ronaldo's forecheck, now along to Ott. He'll drop it back with the goal to Jackman to his partner Bertuzzo. Nice pass to center ice. Here comes Ott in. Here's Ott, a little backhander. And that is caught by Mason, and now Reeves in front with some pushing.
As this breaks up here, we'll show our Plaza Tire Service shot comparison. And Jacob Voracek with 8 total. 5 attempts blocked, 1 missed. And Jaden Schwartz just 5 clean shots on goal in this game. Jaden Schwartz's last 4 games, 3 goals and 3 assists. In the meantime, Voracek only 1 goal in his last 10 games.
And now Backes digs in on the faceoff. And he gets it back to Gunnarsson. Pietrangelo. And a one-timer was blocked out high by Le Cavalier. And then snapped around by Porter. Mason knocks it down, puts it back to the goal. She almost picked it off. And now Pietrangelo, a good read there into the point. But the Flyers escape, and here they come. And Strike His shot blocked by Gunnarsson off his leg and over the glass.
Gunnarsson's had some good saves here with the boot of his skate. John?
Well, tonight on Fox Sports Live on Fox Sports 1, 10 other games across the NHL. We'll see a shakeup in the Western Conference standings. DeMarco Murray is leaving the Cowboys for another team in the NFC East. Who do the Cowboys have in mind for his replacement? And LeBron James returns to San Antonio for the first time since losing in the NBA Finals. That's tonight on Fox Sports Live. Here's Wayne Simmons out high. That shot blocked by Stastny. And it bounces down. And then Yashkin off the glass, intended for Steen. He gets it in front to Lindbohm. And now for Yashkin. This line's been real good tonight. Simmons back defensively for the Flyers. Two Blues rather around him. Now Steen in the circle. Walks in a shot. And that was blocked at the defense. And now in front again, Steen. Off the goal post, his second post tonight. And then Lindbohm for Yashkin. In front again. Through the slot. Now to Bouwmeester. He goes across to Lindbohm. Lets it go. And that's off something, maybe a stick and out of play.
Yeah, Stastny got that on the little redirect. That is a terrific shift here again by this line led by Alexander Steen.
Blues hockey on Fox Sports Midwest, brought to you by your local Gateway Toyota dealers. Take a test drive today. Visit them online at buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Alexander Steen, he is so good at bringing that puck back in, changing the angle on the shot. This is the pipe in the second period that barely glanced off the pad, and then the pipe. And again, you see the way it goes against the grain, and the goaltender's cheating one way, and he finds its way around Luke Schenn. A near-perfect shot again for Steen, who's had a strong game.
Blues have won 6 of 9 faceoffs in this third period. Laterra's toss, so Schwartz will take it. Again, Giroux. Flyers control it. And that hit a seam in the glass, and now the Flyers do most of the puck to center ice. Tarasenko dropped it back in the zone. That hit Brayden Schenn. Now Schwartz a shot. And that was turned away by Mason.
Boy, does he counter quickly.
And now Pietrangelo deals it across to Schwartz. And in behind the cage, Mason puts it high in the glass. And now it's taken by Giroux for Nicholas Grossman. And the Flyers through the neutral zone. And Giroux. He's bumped by Steen. He gets the turnover. And Steen lost the handle at center ice. And then fought back in there by Brayden Schenn. Now Pietrangelo leaves it for Steen. And ahead to Bouwmeester with some room at center ice. Just pushes one back to the Flyer goal. That's played around. Steen involved there with Belmar. And then Yashkin. He was checked, and the puck comes ahead to Belmar. Trying to hit McCavalier. And Lindbohm back defending rather, and Yashkin squats it back to center ice. Under 5 to play here in the third period.
I often talk about how smart Terry Lindbohm is with the pinches. He wanted to go in there on the right side, but he noticed there were 2 Flyers, and in a 0-0 game, no time to go in.
And now Chris Porter comes in to Lindbohm, a shot. And that was blocked. Pinball's around in front. Yashkin trying to get it. And the Flyers funnel it around. That's kept in by Bertuzzo. And his shot hit a stick, goes wide. This time Lindbohm with the pinch. Holds it in for the moment, but now the Flyers to center ice. And then dropped in by Koliakovo. And it goes to Lindbohm again for the Blues. Flyers trying to get it free. Then Wayne Simmons turns and fires it. And that was blocked by Elliott. And then Bertuzzo with some time sends a bouncer to center ice. And now back to Bertuzzo. He'll tip it on to Lindbohm. And ahead to Porter. Elevates it into the zone. Ott trying to find it. And now Reeves will. But he had a stick knocked away.
Yeah, he sure did. He looked to the referee.
No call. And now Gotch comes back in. And that shot hit a Flyer stick. And now put off the glass to center ice. Here's Pietrangelo for Jackman.
Oh, good D-to-D movement there.
And now on to Reeves. He'll saucer one to the corner. And McDonald, forechecked a bit there by Dodge, and then reads a huge hit on McDonald. Puck in front. Dodge can't get it. And here's Jackman to Pietrangelo. Can't make a play, puts it in deep again. Schultz around now for Braden Shen. And his pass to center ice. Inside of 3 minutes left in regulation. No score in the game. Again, a year ago in this building, the Blues won a 1-0 shootout game as Oshie had the winner in the shootout.
That's right. Ryan Miller played that game.
He was brilliant.
But it was a great game. Flyers have had a hard time scoring goals here at Scottrade.
Now the Flyers come in. Lindblom takes LeCavalier. The puck in the corner. Now Bellemare to the line. Shot by Koliakovo and then tripled through, but not on goal. And now the Blues with it. Can't clear it. Bellemare. Backhander. And a save by Elliott.
Good
That
save.
was close.
Yep, good save here as the fourth line of the Philadelphia Flyers put on some pressure. Boy, the Flyers are only 28, 27, and 13. You wouldn't know that watching this hockey game. They come back as a 5-man unit. They're back checking hard, playing hard. This has been a good game here. And here's a look at the last home game here. If you were here in the building, you were stunned by this ending with 63 seconds left as Andre Pavlik had stopped 19 straight shots and then gave up that long one there from Jax.
Well, he gets a lot of big goals, does Jax.
Yes, he does. They're just all game winners.
Fifth game winner of his career. Does he have another one in his bag of tricks? Here come the Flyers. Simmons. And now Lindblom. And he was upended. Stastny. And ahead to Yashkin. Spins off the boards. Now a good play to Bomeister. And he comes in a shot, and that goes wide. And then Alexander Steen. He's been all around the goal tonight. Now Steen with two Flyers around him. And the Flyers break it up. Gunnarsson for Pietrangelo. Right back in wide of the goal. And then it is McDonald back of the goal for Koliakovo. And that pass, that should be an icing call with 1:22 left.
Koliakovo's pass gives us an opportunity to take a look at our Plaza Tire Service goaltenders. And Brian Elliott, 25. They try to stuff a lot of shots on Elliott. He's been good with the rebound control. And once again, Steve Mason playing a real strong game. Two Ontario boys going at it here.
Well, Porter off the faceoff had a shot blocked after Backus won it cleanly. And it trickles to center ice and then dealt back in by Pietrangelo. With 75 seconds left in regulation. And now Jake Voracek. Koliakovo up the middle for Giroux. And he comes in. Some back pressure there by Oshie. Giroux fights him off. Now a shot. That's blocked by Gunnarsson. And inside a minute now, the Blues to center ice 3-on-3. Here's Backus into Oshie. Can't get by the defense. And again, the Flyers shoot it down the ice for an icing violation. What a game tonight here at Scottrade. And much more to come. Stay with us. Missouri Lottery Blues Live is next.
And Philly's already used their timeout. That came midway through the second period. So Ken Hitchcock has one in the bag.
And now Laterra on the face-off against Couturier. And it's won by the Flyers. Played up the boards. Bomeister can't hold it in. And Terry Lindblom back first for the Blues. And now Schwartz, a little backhand flipper. That goes wide of the Flyer net. Straight around the far side for Giroux. And they'll try again. And this time Streit gets it onto center ice for Giroux. Under 20 to go here. Now Giroux a backhander, tip wide. Off the stick of Couturier. Now Bomeister and Yashkin fight for the puck. And Yashkin plays it up the boards. And Grossman held it in, but not for long. And we're going to go to overtime in St. Louis. Shots 33-25 for the Blues, but the goaltenders have been perfect. And Jim Butler Chevrolet.com presents the overtime records. The Blues 12-5 The Flyers into overtime for the 22nd time this year. As Blues coach Ken Hitchcock looks for win number 700 as he battles against his former team.
Both goaltenders very, very sharp. Very, very sharp in this hockey game. It's just, you know, this is a game in which it takes patience. I mean, there's, you know, the beginning part of the game, not a lot of flow, and then you got to kind of hang in there and hang in there. And that's one thing Marty Brodeur talked to this team about while he was a member, an active member, talking about patience in close games.
And the Flyers win the opening faceoff. 4-on-4 for 5 minutes. As Gunnarsson pinches in. And now Streit spins around for the Flyers. To Giroux, back to Streit. And now Nick Schultz. Up front for the Blues, Stastny and Steen. Simmons, Giroux up front for the Flyers. And very patiently Streit now for Schultz. And they finally spring Simmons at center ice. Now into Giroux. In the deep slot and a shot. Off a leg. Didn't get on goal.
Another shot blocked by Carl Gunnarsson. Gunnarsson and Pietrangelo have been a real good tandem here on the back end.
And now Steen goes for a skate. Now he heads north. On for Stastny. And then trying to go back to Steen. That was intercepted. McDonald gets it. And he plays it up the board. Stastny heads off. And now Voracek on a loose puck at center ice. Here he comes. Voracek looks in front. Trying to wiggle by Lindholm. And then a pass to Braden Shen to his brother Luke. And a drive and a save by Elliott.
Good position there as he came out and challenged that shot.
And now Tarasenko, 3-on-2. In front of Laterra. And that pass too hot to handle.
Yeah, Voracek came back, stick in the lane, and broke that up.
And now Tarasenko gets it free for the Blues. He turns and fires it. And a save by Mason.
Oh, you go back to 2010 between the Flyers and the Blues. Steen going on the backhand there, and Steen picks off that pass from Giroux, and Steen went again. There, the first one was blocked, and Carlo Koliakovo. Little shake and bake there from Koliakovo, who now wears number 26 for the Philadelphia Flyers.
I don't think Giroux was giving up his 28.
No.
He actually wanted 8 when he wore 28 with the Blues, but we all know who has that number forever, Barclay Plager. Flyers win the faceoff. And it bounces to center ice. Bertuzzo down to Jackman. Up front, Schwartz and David Backes. Here comes the captain. Look out. He'll flip it by Couture, but the play is offside.
Good patience there shown by Robert Bortuzzo and Barrett Jackman, trying to wait for the forwards to come back, swing back with a little bit of speed, and then finally, being patient, you find David Backes there, but Backes just went offside. Bortuzzo left the bench in the second period because that shattered up nose, he and Ronaldo collided there in front of the Flyers bench. You would say, though, that kid's a hockey player, huh?
Old school.
Yep.
Now the Blues control the face-off. Oshie, he'll feed it back to Pietrangelo. With 2 minutes gone in overtime. Here comes Gunnarsson for Stastny. And then Gunnarsson off balance. Nice play to Pietrangelo. He works in. And then Oshie with a great look. And that was blocked by Grossman. And Giroux the other way. Into the zone. And then McDonald's shot was off a leg in front. Now McDonald again. Across, and Elliott got over and made a save on Belmar.
Good save there. Just got across and made it look easy. Made it look easy. placed by McDonald, buying some time, going to the left-handed Belmar, and good save. Pietrangelo, doesn't this look eerily similar to the play that he made in the last game against Winnipeg? Maybe a little bit more of a delay there. Remember, he did the same thing, froze the defenseman, played it to his right to Schwartz. Schwartz played it over there to Laterra, who scored in the empty net. But I think on that one, I think that's an opportunity to shoot the puck. Because the guy on your right is a right-hand shot, so he doesn't have a chance to really snap it quickly. It'd be different if he was a left-hand shot, in my opinion.
No icing here as Tarasenko shoots it down the ice. That's a break for the Blues. But now the Flyers in their own zone. Luke Schenn on to center ice to Brayden Schenn. Voracek in front, wide open. Elliott made the save! Wow! On Koliakovo.
Just stuck in the webbing right there. That's a goaltender that working on his positioning, letting the puck come to him, and being on top of his crease as well. I mean, there is terrific positioning. Brian Elliott was not deep into his net, and you can see the bench of the St. Louis Blues there after this big save, and yelling, Moose, Moose. Nickname there, of course, of Brian Elliott, but not passive, not on his heels, right on top of his crease, showing a lot of confidence.
And from the faceoff, Gunnarsson for Schwartz with 1:50 left in overtime. And then Gunnarsson again.
Schwartz wanted that on that real regroup there. Schwartz wanted that first pass. He had speed through the middle.
Flipped in by Gunnarsson, hammered ahead by Schultz, kept in by Pietrangelo with a great read. Trying to tuck it in front, but that's stolen. And Claude Giroux. He works ahead with Wayne Simmons. And a little bouncer. And now Elliott will make the safe play. And a whistle. I'll guarantee you have a seat for every Blues playoff game this year by purchasing a 2015-16 season ticket package. Packages went on sale today and come in full half or 12-game packs. And we're just 10% down on your choice of packages. You get playoff ticketing priority. And the face-off is won by Laterra. Here's Petteri Lindbom for the Blues. Laterra can't get it deep.
No, good stick on stick right there by Voracek.
And now Bouwmeester back into the zone. But Luke Schenn for the Flyers. Long stretch pass picked off. Laterra to Tarasenko. 2-on-2. Tarasenko works in a shot. And Mason got his arm on that. And under a minute to go in overtime. Now Bouwmeester. Tarasenko nearly ended the game there. Bouwmeester from center ice, pounded around the boards. As the Blues make some changes here.
Well, that was Tarasenko's finest opportunity of this game. Little stutter step there, then cut back to his left, using the defenseman Koliakovo as a screen, and this went off the right shoulder of the 6'4" goaltender. Ooh, that's where...
And he felt it, Derek.
Oh, and there's no question. That's a heavy shot, heavy shot.
Now 15 left in overtime. Here's Gunnarsson to Lindbom. Nice pass to center. Stastny has speed. He comes in to Steen. And a shot. And again it's blocked. Another shot. Wide by Pietrangelo. And we will go to a shootout. And that is the end of 65 minutes.
With the score still tied after 65 minutes of play, we now go to a shootout.
So like last year, these clubs play a 0-0 game. Now the shootout is brought to you by Jim Butler, Chevrolet.com. Jim Butler is the Chevy powerhouse. Jim Butler presents the career records of Brian Elliott and Steve Mason. Very similar.
Yep. Very similar when you look at both goaltenders, and boy, that save that Mason made on Vladdy Tarasenko was a beauty. TJ Oshie will get the nod, as always, and he'll go first. Capacity crowd getting their money's worth here this evening at Scott Trade.
19,600. So Oshie will be the first shooter. just over 50% in his career. Here he comes against Steve Mason. Oshie in, and he scores!
Oh, that's a slick little move right there. Right-hand shot, waits, brings it back in the middle of the ice. He's got the best angle there. Stutter step to the right, and there's lots of room there on the blocker side. Great move.
And Jake Voracek, the first Flyers shooter, and he's at 50% on the season. And here he comes against Elliott, who challenges, and a right pass saved by Elliott.
Did he stretch that out? Those hot yoga classes really paying off. Look at the right leg movement. He's got to push off with his left, get over there to the right, and it's just off the toe. Just off the toe against Voracek.
Well, he's got to score in a shootout on bobblehead night. Vladimir Tarasenko could put the Blues ahead 2-0 in the shootout. And he swings wide against Mason. And he scores! What a laser!
Wow, looks like the bobblehead doll has got a hot twig right there. Thanks, Alex. Again, going down the right side, he waits again for the collapsing of the blocker. An excellent shot. Made it look easy on Vladimir Tarasenko bobblehead night. It could be won now by Elliott.
If he makes the save on Simmons, it's over. 4 for 5. Wayne Simmons in. Waits. And a save and a victory. Win number 700 for Ken Hitchcock. And a shutout for Brian Elliott, his 20th as a Blue, which ties the club record held by Halak.
Well, this save here, another gem as he follows it up. Boy, he was very patient on the puck. An outstanding game by Brian Elliott. Really never made the first move before the shooter did. As we take a look at our Bud Light players of the game, why wouldn't they be both goaltenders? But when you're talking about putting up zeros, most shutouts, Blues all time, that's pretty impressive. Halak, Elliott, Glenn Hall.
As Brian Elliott stops all 28 shots. And Oshie gets the shootout winner. And the Blues win their 43rd of the year.
There are our Bud Light players of the game, Steve Mason and Brian Elliott. Just a phenomenal effort by both goaltenders.
And let's go to Tom Calhoun for tonight's 3 stars.
Playing it forward for the Blues.